Yo, man, what's going on, everybody, man? I hope everybody is having a good, blessed day. I know a lot of people on break right now, coming into the new year, but by the title and thumbnail, I mean, y'all really already know what to expect with today's video. You know, it's the same thing, just a different day. Another little reaction. What can I say? You know what I'm saying? But make sure if you guys enjoyed this video that you give it a huge like button, man. 1 like equals 1 prayer. So let's go and get this video to 1 million prayers, man. And I hope that y'all enjoy. Let's get it. Let's go.
What if I told you the universe don't interfere with the government tactics because they're not breaking universal laws? Would you believe me? I don't care if you're good or evil. There are certain laws in the universe we all must live by. And if people can find a way to get around these laws, karma don't come back to them. Life in the universe is all about growth. So if you are going through something in your life right now where you're trying to wake up, the universe is going to support you. Remember, there was a time where the woke people were asleep and the universe still supported us. It's important to understand this because once you get in the matrix, you understand that there are certain things that just don't seem right. Especially when you wake up and you try to help other people wake up and they just won't wake up. It goes by natural laws of the universe. What the government did was they lowered our vibration and made us forget about love and oneness. And once we forgot about love and—
oh my God, yes! Love and oneness. Like, look at the music that they crashed into our ears, man. Just even music within ourselves. They want us to crash out. They want our women to not love us. They want the men to not love the women the proper way. Like, it's always F these dudes and just F these girls. Like, why is it always this type of energy put out? Especially like all the time, man. It's always just seem like it's a war between races. Like when we supposed to go on a war for each other.
And oneness, our vibration—
genders, I'm sorry.
Oneness, our vibration on this planet actually dropped. Therefore, they can break universal laws and not break it at the same time. Remember, knowledge and wisdom is our birthright. We was born with these things. They're not given to us. They're born within us. I've been on my spiritual journey since 2010. I was so-called woke when it wasn't even cool to be woke. Now it's a cool thing. But I came across certain knowledge, whereas I learned about real freedom and how to break the rules of the matrix. Everyone on this planet is supposed to be free. Go back within and understand the universe that's within you. Once you understand this, nothing outside of you can actually break you.
Roseanne Barr, did you see what she said today? She said she doesn't see a 2024 election even happening in the United States.
I don't think we're going to have no election.
You want to bet money?
I'll bet.
How much?
I'll bet big. I don't think we're going to have no election.
$1,000.
All right.
Shake hands.
I do not want to hear that.
I mean, it's possible because if Russia does technically declare war or we declare war, then he can stay in.
Right, he could declare martial law, or you could literally go into the War Powers Act, which then takes him out of the occasion, and then you have an entire emergency set up right now. Roseanne Barr, did you see what she—
that is true. That is true. And I'm going to touch on this as well, right? What I'm going to say this. Election year is always a scary year. A lot of people watch The Purge as well. Election year is always a scary year. 2020, I think that was the last election year, right? A lot of people were concerned that in America, we were going to go to war with each other. We were also scared that we were going to go to war with, I think that was North Korea. And I think that was it. It was supposed to be a nuclear war with North Korea that was going on. I think that was like late 2019, early 2020. But a lot of people were stocking up on a lot of ammo, weapons, everything just kind of, that was honestly the start of inflation, if you ask me, from groceries to everything, right? I even went to the store and bought something myself. I was just asking my mom, like, I don't know what's going to go on, Mom, but y'all need anything from the store? And I'm just buying stuff. And I can't believe, like, I mean, I was prepared even though nothing happened. But we were afraid that we were going to go at war with United States, you know, like we're trying to fight for independence or something like that. In 2024, we are scared that we are going to go to war with a war. So if this does happen, he can pull that law and actually push it back. And that would be— I'm not sure if this would be the first time something like this happened in history, but y'all let me know down below. Do y'all feel like that there will be a 2024 election? Let me know. A lot of people say allegedly they feel like that. No. I personally feel like that it's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of people getting prepared. There's a lot of people making bunkers. I'm just not sure. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below, because this is a great question.
Right, here we go again. A time traveler from the year 2671 has warned us about these dates in 2024. So make sure to favorite this video so we can keep track of these dates and see if they were right. Let's hope they aren't. Let's start with January 23rd, 2024. A message is sent from an underground civilization known as the Splitting World. Essentially, we go under the Earth's crust to discover a whole new world. With a new kind of human, but of course, they want war. For fuck's sake! March 7th, 2024. A mirrored Earth is found inside our solar system and is the exact opposite to Earth. Essentially, yes, it is habitable, but the gravity and physics are completely different, and on top of that, plants are red and the water's purple. What? Didn't think it could get weirder? You'd be wrong. Let's talk about April 15th, where SpaceX finds out how to make a spaceship travel the speed of light. However, like everything, this comes with its problems. Because apparently this is when we begin to meet alien life forms, who of course want to steal the light speed engine from us. Finally, we have June 29th, 10 days after my birthday. Mark your calendars. Where 197 mysterious statues appear around the world. One in every single country. Apparently, we eventually find out that the statues were placed here to track and scare humanity. Mission succeeded. And they release many terrible things. Now, I did my research. I have no idea what terrible things means. Could you be more cryptic? There are literally...
So the thing I would say was January 27th. Hold on.
So many more, so I think I'm going to do a part 2 tomorrow. And do you think any of these will come true?
I think...
Right, here we go again, a time traveler
So
from
look, I think that the January 27th thing with the underground civilization can be the Epstein list that is possibly, that is allegedly supposed to be releasing. I think about anything after that possibly could be a stretch. The SpaceX thing could possibly be not true, because I don't even think he have a way to make it to this outer space that he talks about. So I can understand him saying something with light speed. So I would probably say everything else is possibly false, but y'all can let me know how y'all feel about this down below. It was pretty entertaining as well. Shout out to that boy JC Matthew.
When you're born, you have to take the sole of your feet, they put ink up under it, and then they make you put the sole of your feet on a piece of paper. So you automatically sell your soul. So parents are selling their children to the corporations. Corpse means dead. So you're selling them to these dead corporations as soon as they're born. Then they tag them with a number. This number is literally a trust TDA account where there's millions and millions and millions of dollars that you can never ever tap into, because the moment you tap into it, that means you got your freedom. We should not be working. We should not be having to pay taxes. This is our land. We are not civilians here, and we're not citizens. This is our land. We was here first. But you got the $5 Indian, the way they came in, and they act like it was this big old slave trade. And I mean, it's a whole lot of propaganda of stuff that they put inside of our faces that really didn't happen. But when you're dealing with a people that have severe amnesia through trauma experiences that we've been experiencing, and you're keeping the hurts and the frequencies of our brain limited from the clothes we put on our, like, we don't realize what these clothes even do to our emitting of electrical magnetic energy. When you put a people under hypnosis, you can tell them anything and they'll believe anything. And they can sit up here, and these truths that I'm speaking today, the people that sleep and haven't came out of their slumber, they will call me a quack, they'll call me a liar, they say this out of his mind, but the whole time I'm speaking actual facts and truth, but they can't relate to it because these are the people that's been sedated, that's in this indoctrination or have been put to sleep.
Man, I feel like he was talking to me. You see what I'm saying? No, but a lot of the things he did say, I personally feel like was some truth, and there was some things that I needed to learn. I'm not sure about the father. Don't hit me right now, y'all, because some of y'all gonna be like, bro, what you mean you don't know? I'm not too sure about the little $5 Indian thing. Okay, I'm not sure what he was trying to mention on there. I don't know if he was trying to insult, which is, I hope he was not trying to insult them, but I highly doubt he was, because, you know, the Native Americans that was here way before us, this, of course, was their land. But if I'm not mistaken, I've watched some of his content. I know he normally speak positive and the truth. I'm thinking that he's talking about like this was their land before, and they and basically like tricked them and things like that.
What's up, world? It's your boy Elite Exposure Evan, and today I would love to show y'all how the Pope treats the citizens of the world and how he treats the world leaders. As you can see with these elites, he gets on his knees and kisses everybody in the room's feet.
Wow.
But he also does this. This is the Rothschilds and the Rockefeller family. If you don't know how powerful these families are and what they control and run, I suggest you do your research. exposes the Pope as the he truly worships and who he bows down to, which is Lucifer.
Wow. He kissed the hills. I'm gonna say something about this video. What stood out a lot to me was, of course, the first clip when he smacked the lady's hand and then like frowned at her. You get what I'm saying? And another thing that really stood out, and I know a lot of my King James Version readers, is that he kissed the heels of some black people. First I'm thinking of is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 14, if I'm not mistaken. And anybody can quote it down below. But I know a lot of my King James Versions people out there understand what the Pope just did to these black people. And I feel like I don't got to say nothing else after that.
Same God that made the moon and the sun and the rivers made me. That God don't make no mistake.
You speak of the universal God, the power of the universe. Are there things that we can do to tap into that power?
We're born into it. It's like you born with $10 billion in the bank, but they told you it wasn't there. It's still there. They can't steal it. They can use it as long as you don't know you have it.
Why is it that so many of us are still in the dark about this?
Why wouldn't you be in the dark? You've been trained to be in the dark.
That's true.
Why I need somebody to tell me I am somebody? Because I don't know I am. And so when you stop and you think, it's here. Here, you was born with it.
That is true.
I said, how could a plane, even a 767 or 747 or whatever it might have been, how could it possibly go through this deal? I happen to think that they had not only a plane, but they had bombs that exploded almost simultaneously, because I just can't imagine anything being able to go through that wall. Most buildings are built with the steel is on the inside around the elevator shaft. This one was built from the outside, which is the strongest structure you can have, and it was almost just like a can of soup.
You know, Donna, we were looking at pictures all morning long of that plane coming into building number 2, and when you see that approach the far side, and then all of a sudden, within a matter of a millisecond, the explosion pops out the other side.
Right. I just think that it was a plane with more than just fuel. I think, obviously, they were very big planes. They were going very rapidly, because I was also watching where the plane seemed to be not only going fast, it seemed to be coming down into the building. So it was getting the speed from going downhill, so to speak. It just seemed to me that to do that kind of destruction is even more than a big plane, because you're talking about taking out steel, the heaviest caliber steel that was used on a building. I mean, these buildings were rock solid, and you know, it's just an amazing thing. This country is different today, and it's going to be different than it ever was for many years to come.
Oh, you ain't lying, because it's 2024 and they still talking about this. This happened 25 years ago. And I just want to say all my condolences to anybody who have lost any loved ones in a situation like this that happened during that, you know, in that era. That was probably a very scary day for everybody who lived in America, I'm positive. But I do think that there was way more to it than what they was telling us, because everybody was saying that, you know, allegedly that these scrapers, that the towers were built with steel that was meant to withhold and sustain things like that would happen. You know, and that's why they're saying that it seemed like it was more than just, you know, the 2 airplanes than anything else. There has been something else equipped on there, because there's no way that the entire building collapsed when it was made just in case for these things to happen, unless the people didn't make it right. You know, but it's a whole lot of answers to be answered that have not been, you know, answered yet. You get what I'm saying? But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. I know everybody have their own opinion on this, and this is honestly going to be one of the wonders of the world for hundreds of years. Right now, we have people that are still alive today to tell the story. Within 100 years, everybody is going to be passed away. That's possibly not I won't say they're just born now, but that was close around that time. And people are going to tell their story for them. You know, so I will, you know, in 1,000 years or 800 years, I wonder how this is going to be told. Will this be told like the whole, you know, the Rome thing where they had the horse and the Trojan horse and the things like that? But yeah, like I said, once again, sorry to anybody who had lost any loved ones or heard of anything of any loved ones. I know a lot of people still remember this day. If anybody down below right now can tell me right now, what were you doing in the moment? Because you give us a vivid detail on everything that went on. when you were either in class, in school, or at work when a situation like this happened?
Karmic retribution. They believe that they can suffer the consequence of lying and tricking you. So the very simple premise is this. If I sell poison apples and I write apples and you come and eat one, I poisoned you. But if I sell poison apples and I have a sign that says apples, they're poison, and you come and eat one, you committed suicide. I haven't murdered you. You've committed suicide.
That's what Satanists believe.
Satanists believe by telling you what they're doing, they don't have any karmic retribution. I'm not responsible for the consequence. I'm not responsible for all the negative fallout from my actions if they understood what I was doing and allowed me to do it. This is why they show you and tell you what they're doing. If I show you and tell you that we are pedophiles, you continue to buy our products, then you're supporting pedophiles.
That is
and you're obviously okay with us being pedophiles. If I do it hidden behind your back, then you can argue and say, I didn't know they were pedophiles. But by showing you, I've shown you I'm a pedophile. You still want to wear my t-shirt. So obviously what I'm doing is okay. And this karmic retribution model and the way that Satanists view the world, and when I say Satanists, I genuinely mean people who worship real Satan. The people who are in charge of these brands and in charge of the Western world and in charge of the Matrix genuinely worship Satan. When you understand the idea of karmic retribution, you can apply that to so many scenarios.
Tommy Truthful here from truthmafia.com. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Andrew Tate's, but what he's saying right there is true. This is what I'm always breaking down in movies, showing you how they predict certain events before they happen, like 9/11. How many movies did we see the towers fall before they fell? This is called predictive programming,
That's
revelation of the method, known as lesser magic, truth in plain sight. It strengthens the original spell that they casted when they show you what they're going to do and still do it, and it frees them karmically. This is how it really works. These are universal laws. So it's a loophole.
Okay, so I kind of understand what he was saying there. But he wasn't calling himself a pedo, which is, prayers out to anybody who have ever been through any situation like that. That is honestly so true. And I've witnessed things like that, like, just reading and seeing things online that a lot of these people really come out to be pedos, and it's sad to know that people will still support them. It's honestly innocent children who have to suffer from things like that. And it's just sad. Like, it honestly hurt my heart. Like, I had no idea. Like, I just have so much love. Who would want to like put that type of memory and like take that type of act towards a child? Like that just someone who's defenseless. Like, that is just completely sad, but it is true. Like, it's people who still support people like that because they be with it. I know a lot of people watching me right now. There has been people in individuals' families, you know what I'm saying, where your family member still supported somebody who has been convicted of that type of charge. And that is a very serious charge. Even if it wasn't just convicted of a charge, it was something that was talked about within the family, but they still allow this person around. Children, man, like I just want to make sure that I always open a door for my, offspring, my future my future children, to be open to talk to me about if anything like this was to ever happen to them. I know that's not what he was really talking about, but I just kind of wanted to talk about that because I did notice that a lot within the world is that people really support things like that. That's why it's a lot of things that are coming out about people in general, and they're confused on possibly why they getting canceled. You know what I'm saying? Or why they're trying to cancel them. Like, oh, well, they did this. Like, no, if they did what they did, that they deserve to be behind bars. All jokes aside, he's basically saying that everything is predictive programming and, it's playing ahead of the time. He's also saying that we have a choice to continue to follow with the world order that they have. And they don't get in trouble because they're constantly putting things in front of our face with movies and shows and coming out and saying things with lawsuits. And we still choose to support the world order that they're allegedly pushing out.
According to Akan Legends of Ghana, once there was time when every human being were God, but they abused their divinity. So one day, Odomankoma, creator, decided to take back divinity from humans and decided to hide it someplace where humans could never find it. To do this, Odomankoma called Meeting of All Gods to decide about place to hide the divinity. Some said, let's bury it deep in earth. Odumankuma refused, saying humans will dig into earth and find it. Some said, let's sink it in deepest ocean. Again, Odumankuma refused and said, human will learn to dive and find it. Then some suggested, let's take it to top of mountains. Odumankuma replied, humans will climb up mountains and get divinity. After so many refuse, the gods gave up and said, we don't know where to hide divinity, as eventually humans will reach places and no place left to hide. Then Odumankuma thought for long and said, we will hide it in the center of human own being. Humans will search for it here and there, but won't look for divinity inside their true self. All gods agreed that it's perfect place for hiding divinity. And since then, humans have been searching for divinity up and down, digging earth.
I feel like more so what this was trying to talk about, I don't think they were really trying to reference to gods, because I genuinely believe that it's only one true and living God. I think more so what he was saying is that people would look everywhere else to be accepted, to look for themselves. They will go everywhere, but when they realize that they have the power within themselves to be genuinely who they are destined to be within themselves, then that's when they will be successful and realize that all they need is themselves and within themselves to be successful. Basically, is kind of what I got from this.
They gonna hike that price up? Yeah. Can't nobody else get this. You know, you need to watch an old video called How to Sell to the. They did a video instructing stores on how to sell to the. They said make him feel like he's exclusive. Make him happy about it. Make him feel like he can't afford it. Put it behind the glass. Say, no, don't even worry about looking over there. This is something that's around your budget. You mean I can't afford that? What? Give me that. It's in your whole check. Sell your house for a jacket. How to sell to the. You watch that, you're going to be like, they really did this. Yes.
Here is what sales psychologists have to say about selling to the.
Whoa, this is real.
The secret of selling to the is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. Now, there's nothing unusual about that. People want to be recognized. They need recognition. That's basic in all of us. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, he needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important one. It shows up even in many of our shopping habits. Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the customer should know about some of these habits. 3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction. To begin with, most buy by brand. They ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off-brands. Buying by brand, that's the first important buying habit. Now for the second. The buys good quality merchandise. Symbols of quality and prestige are very important to the customer. This woman, for example, is buying fine crystalware. But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives. Listen to her thoughts.
My, isn't it beautiful? I can hardly wait to show it to Sally and Joan.
It's a well-known fact that many customers are influenced by the opinions of others. What their friends may think of a certain item often decides whether or not the sale is made. So remember, the buys quality merchandise. That's the second important point. And here's the third thing to remember when selling to a customer. When he specifically asks for one thing, don't try to sell him something else. Don't try to switch him at the point of sale. If you do, he'll probably react something like this.
Doesn't he think I've got the money to pay for it?
He resents being offered a substitute. He wants to be sold on quality, not price. He buys by brand, he buys quality, and he doesn't like to be switched at point of sale. These are the keys to selling the customer.
According to leading researchers, in proportion to population and income, quality products than any other comparable United States group.
They were very serious. Why? Because it works. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at yourself for buying. And we are the top consumers.
We are the top consumers, and I still think that they use specific tactics. Basically in today's society, you know, like a lot of people buy a lot, depending on, I wouldn't just say everybody, but a lot of people do have this problem with buying things just to feel accepted. You know, it doesn't matter if they have $200 in their account. If some shoes, Jordans cost $200, people are willing to spend their last on Jordans just so they can show like, hey, I got these new Jordans that everybody wanted. You know, but I feel like that it's a lot different, and I apologize for bleeping out the N-word a lot. But I just don't want any problems. But if y'all see blur or y'all hear like any pausing or anything, then the N-word was basically said a lot in this video. And that's not something that I pride in. I just don't want that type of energy attached to my channel. I hope you all respect that. And I know YouTube really does not allow things like that. So I do try my best to, you know, follow guidelines, and I do particular things that I know that they do not like. You get what I'm saying? So I did mute that. But also to touch on another subject, I won't even just say that. I feel like we are so far in advance now that back then a lot of people really didn't have so much of an option. But I feel like right now, like a lot of people have somewhat options to spend their money particular ways. But I feel like if you still spend your money on particular things, which I'm not no, you know, financial advisor to tell you what to and what not to spend your money on. But at the same time, I feel like some things just be irresponsible. I know a lot of y'all can agree. A lot of y'all probably got stories of y'all friends that y'all know that y'all like, man, tell me why my homegirl decided to go on a trip when she know her rent, her mortgage was due next week. And she decides that she'd rather be late on her mortgage and her car note since they can't evict her and take her car within 3 months, that she just can save up the money and pay the fee. Like a lot of people have people, and possibly people been in a situation. So I don't want you all to feel like I'm, you know, trying to comfort you or anything like that, because, and I was just right, because I have been the type of person who have made unreasonable expenses. I almost said suspenses. Expenses. I have done that. I've spent money in dumb ways that I know I shouldn't have, you know, but it comes with wisdom. And I feel like if you constantly repeat bad habits, then it will turn into something that becomes irresponsible, because you know wrong from right. You know, like I was doing things because I just wasn't something that I've had. Now that I know the difference, if I continuously keep doing it, that just shows my discipline, if that makes sense. But that is crazy, just, you know, that they still somewhat use this tactic in today's society, if that makes sense. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below, and if you feel like this holds any weight.